What's up, Carla?
What's up, Chris?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Spending a lot of time getting ready for South by Southwest,
Yes.
ASU GSV,
Yes.
um, Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
My travel schedule is going to rival yours fairly soon here.
Yes. I don't
Maybe,
know. I don't know about
maybe.
because I'm going somewhere exciting next week. Yeah, you won't.
Where are you going next week?
I'm going to Kansas City
Tell me more about why you're going to Kansas City.
because that is the location of our Big Bang, and so we're gonna go scout for leaving to learn locations and just to get to know, the community a little better, at least on my end, since I'll be supporting.
I think it's worth mentioning. You'll be
Yes.
in Kansas City next week. The city is either going to be very excited
Uh-huh.
or not at all.
I know, right?
Because the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl this Sunday
Mm-hmm.
playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
Um,
excitement there.
I'm sure there's a lot of excitement in both places. I mean, in Kansas City,
Yeah.
we'll talk about what it's like in Kansas City, but Philadelphia, I think if I remember from past championships, they like already have greased flagpoles so people
For sure.
can't climb them, flip over car. Much love to Philadelphia. There is a
I know.
reputation. There is a reputation there. So,
I
um,
wish I was like that enthusiastic about sports to like, leave my couch and then go into the city. And
there is somebody that is that enthusiastic, I believe.
ooh, okay.
Um, Today's guest, who I'm very excited to welcome, Corey Scholes. Well, you're not in Kansas City currently, but you live in Kansas City. Are the biggest Chiefs fan that I know. Corey, welcome. We brought you here today. You could talk about the Chiefs all you want, but specifically, we wanted to talk about the launch of Big Bang, which is happening next week. And a key component of Big Pictures conferences is going out into the community and learning from and with folks who work and live and thrive in that community. So I guess the question I tee up for you is like, what are some of the things in Kansas City that people can be excited about?
Sure, we've looked at a ton. Well, first of all, Carla, I have to tell you that what Chris said, Wednesday when you arrive in Kansas City will either be the Super Bowl parade or not.
That's what I was thinking.
So,
Are you guys supposed to scout that day?
and it's at the hotel where you're staying.
No way.
No, you scout Thursday and Friday. It's
Okay.
going to be, I've worked it all out. However, hopefully we're in a good mood. But we have found, I've been working with Sun, and we found a lot of really cool places. I think the place that a lot of young people and teachers will be most excited about is Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We are the home of that in Kansas City. And so, Carla, did you go there with us at Amplify?
There was a dinner there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of the neatest museums there is. It's actually attached to the Kansas City Jazz Museum. So we have a whole little district downtown at 18th and Vine, which will for sure be a site for one of the Leaving to Learns. Kind of tangentially connected to that is we actually have a minor league baseball team called the Monarchs. That's owned by a friend of mine, Mark Brandmeier, and we're working on maybe getting to go out to that stadium and talk about the tradition of the Monarchs in Kansas City and what it means to us now, what it meant to us then. So we do have some really good sports. We actually have not. I have super close friends at the Chiefs, but we haven't reached out to them yet because they're a little busy. I promised Son that after the Super Bowl, I will reach out to see if we can do an Arrowhead visit, but I was not going to bother. My
wise.
Still this weekend was over. So those are some big sports ones that should be fun. We have an interesting one that we're going to scout, Thelma's Kitchen, which is like a community kitchen that's connected to a place that does rehabilitation services for people. So we're trying to find far and wide. And I guess this year, one of the things you guys are thinking about is kind of staff interests. So if any staff people have any places that they want to see in Kansas City, I'd love to think through like what I know and who I know to see if we could connect on that.
Can you, I'm not trying to be cheeky here, but one of the things I think people have been really intrigued about is like, what is the relationship between Kansas City, Missouri and Kansas City, Kansas?
Ooh.
First of all, I just want you to know when Beyonce announced last week that she's coming to Kansas City, like the first thing people were saying was like, please tell her it's in Missouri so that she doesn't make, like, the terrible error when people get on stage and be like, hello, Kansas. And it's like, you're not in Kansas. It is a crazy thing. It's actually crazy and pertinent to education because, as you know, state standards are different, right? So state has different standards. So in my city, which straddles two different states, half of children are learning one set of standards and half of are learning the other set of standards, and they live literally across the street from each other. My daughter went to high school in Missouri, and she parked her car, the parking lot for her.
Wait, she's frozen.
Frozen. Corey, if you could see us, come back on. That, I mean, already what Corey has said was very intriguing to me, and I hope she's able to rejoin, so we can hear more about that. Let's see if she's resetting. Would love to have Corey back.
That's really
if
cool.
only because
yes
of
I know.
What we have going on.
yeah.
I either want to do it now because we have dead airspace, or I want to wait because Corey has to be part of it.
Yeah, the element of
I think we should. I
wait.
think we should go. I think we should move forward.
Okay.
Hopefully, Corey will either rejoin us, watch this live, or watch it later. Oh, well, I think. Anyway, I wanted to welcome Matt Prochnow from Philadelphia, specifically Big Picture Philadelphia. Matt, I'll set you up by saying that we're going to Kansas City for Big Bang, but we're also coming to Philadelphia in December for the leadership conference. The payoff was Corey didn't know that you were here. She is a diehard Kansas City fan, so part of it was to kind of like stick it in her craw. But also because we do really want to talk about how it's important for us to think about the places that we're going and to learn from those communities. So would love for you to talk about. Wait a second. Corey, you missed the payoff, which is we had
off the screen.
Come on. I don't know if you've ever met Matt, but you should now because Matt is a wonderful human being who works for Big Picture Philadelphia. And we wanted to talk about, we're also going to Philadelphia for the leadership conference. And so we wanted to talk about Philadelphia because we wanted to talk about how Kansas City and Philadelphia are both wonderful places.
First of all, such a dupe and like a shell game that he did not mention that he was going to bring on a Philadelphia. But the joke is on Chris because if you were a Bengals fan, I would have to like hang up. But I love the Philadelphia Eagles. I love Jalen Hurts. I love your fans. I love your coaches. I have way too much family in Philadelphia to not like Philadelphia. So I still hope we win. But if we don't, I'm not going to hate losing to you like I did the 49ers.
I hear it. And I live 1 block away from the only Chiefs bar in South Philly.
Lots of videos about this Chiefs bar.
Yeah.
This is not the rivalry I was expecting out of this conversation. What's happening here? Like a love fest.
This is big pic. What are you talking? What you knew exactly what happened. This is how we are.
But for real, like part of it was to like be a little bit cheeky at your expense, Corey. But also part of it was because of the 2 conferences that we have coming up. Is it too early to preview a conference in December? I don't think so. So Matt, tell us a little bit about the Philadelphia community, including Vox, El Centro, and Big Picture Philadelphia at large. Love to hear about it.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I'm really excited to have the Big Picture family back in town. We opened Vox Big Picture in 2017 and hosted the leadership conference that year, a few months after opening. And we were in a bit over our heads at that point, and maybe you always are. But it'll be really cool to welcome you back and see all of the growth that has happened in that time. At that time, we only had freshmen. Now we've graduated 2 classes and we're fully enrolled. El Centro is now, even though it opened in 2009, it just moved over into this same neighborhood so the students can sort of walk back and forth and have a bit more connection to each other. And then Camden Big Picture Learning Academy, which is just across the river in New Jersey, has been open since 2005, something like that, 17, 18 years. And so, we have increased commerce with them these days too. We visited them for exhibitions 2 weeks ago, and they're starting to sort of build a common understanding and sense of language between all three schools. So it'll be really cool for y'all to visit that. But also Philly is a great city. It's super dense and walkable. There's lots of things to do no matter what neighborhood you're in. I can't say enough about the food in particular. Yeah.
Carla, I feel like I've been talking a lot.
What?
Not to put you on the spot, but do you have like questions for Corey or Matt?
Okay. I think for me, whenever I go conference-wise visit, I always think about like what is one thing after the conference, not food related, because I know both cities have great food, that you think people should definitely take a look at. So, conference is over, they're done with dinner. What should folks at least check out or experience?
I only get one thing.
Already said it. The 18th and Vine, there's something that only happens. There's something called the Mutual Musicians Foundation, and it is the oldest Black musicians union in the country. And every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday since 1930 something, musicians just show up and play from midnight to like 4 a.m. It's the craziest thing you've ever been to in your life, and it still happens. And when you walk in there, see the pictures of the people who just show up, Charlie Bird Parker, like whoever, it's bananas who just shows up at this place. And it's only in Kansas City. Like it's in this gritty little place. There's no light. It's but it's the neatest place. And they have the best jazz and blues that you could come up with. So you got to show up, and you never know who will be there.
That makes me think, right downtown, actually really close to our 18th and Pine as well, the Philadelphia Museum of Art is right there. And sometimes it feels like it can be a little stodgy in a world-class art museum. However, on Fridays, it's not. Fridays are pay what you wish. And there's always a little, sometimes big, party in the atrium on the backside of the museum. And it's really close to good restaurants, and it's really close to good public trans. And so you can kind of get there from wherever. And because it's pay what you wish, it's the same kind of vibe, I think, that Corey's talking about. You never quite know from week to week what's going to be the vibe that week. Not the whole museum is open, but much of it is. But oftentimes the people who go aren't there for the art anyway. It's just kind of for the scene. And it can be really, really fun. It's right along a river path too. So if the weather's nice and the vibe isn't what you're looking for, then you can change it by going somewhere else.
And just to appease Chris and make this a little more, when you come to Kansas City, you can also probably see the Super Bowl trophy that will still be on display from Sunday. So
I thought you were going to say from 2019. That would make sense.
It's there, by the way, at 29 in the state. Just so.
My intent is not to throw Matt under the bus, but Matt is playing the role finally. Like when I invited Matt, he's like, "Just so you know, I'm not really a huge Eagles fan." but Matt, he is a big Philadelphia fan. I can say that, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The Eagles are probably my third or fourth favorite Philadelphia sports franchise.
Okay.
But when the city's happy, I'm happy.
Here's a fun fact. Do you know that Patrick Mahomes owns part of the Royals baseball team, owns our men's soccer team, and owns our women's soccer team? So,
Wow.
Pretty soon he's going to own the Kansas City pickleball team, world's fastest growing sport.
He might.
Wanted to thank you both for being good sports, no pun intended, this discussion. We are genuinely super thrilled to be coming to Kansas City very soon, and Philadelphia not far afterward. I think Big Picture is super intentional about where we hold our conferences. We don't just sort of throw a dart in the map. We think about places where we have community that we can build upon, places that will engender thought, and pulling from my colleague Jennifer Gaddu, that do some provocation. So in a later conversation, we'd love to talk with both of you about like what are the things about being in your city can provoke people to think more deeply. But in the midst of all of that, I will say, let's go on Sunday.
You can be like Mrs. Mama Kelsey and just root for the offense.
There you go.
Got a son on both teams, so that's what she's
true.
saying. Her team is the offense.
I want to thank you both for joining us today on short notice. Thanks. Have fun on Sunday.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
So, Carly, you didn't do it while Corey was on the line, but you live in Delaware. You're currently in New Jersey. Do you have a dog in this race? Are you an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I mean, I live in bird territory. My neighbors, who I'm always with, are Eagles fans, and I feel like I have to at least choose some team in sports since I move so much at this point. I guess
I'm not a huge Eagles fan, but I did live in Bucks County when I was in middle school during the Randall Cunningham era. I don't know if I'm saying anything that means anything to you, Carla, but such a fun team to like watch. Like Randall Cunningham was like one of the first, like, I'm not going to throw it, I'm going to run it quarterback. So that's fun to like watch that era of Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Whew. This is a very special football episode of Cup of Joy.
Right? I'm excited. Well, I think I might be mid-flight on the way back, so I might even miss the halftime show. It's okay though. I'll watch the recaps.
All right, so take us out.
Oh, yes. All right. I hope you all enjoy the game on Sunday. Make it a great day or not, folks. The choice is yours. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
And I failed.
What?
If you want to know more about Big Bang or the Leadership Conference, go to bplevents.org. Definitely register when it opens next Tuesday. As Carla said, have a great day. The choice is yours.
Bye.